All right, my friend. I think we're live. We're just gonna wait on viewers to start joining in, and then we can start on our topic. You doing good, my
Cool.
friend?
I would say, life has been very, interesting, but along like everything in life, it just keeps going. But other than that, yeah, not too bad, not too bad. It's
Mm-hmm.
just life.
I haven't streamed in I don't know, maybe months. I think we're talking about maybe 3 or 4 months.
Hmm.
So this is definitely going to be interesting. I'm looking up for those who are wondering why I'm looking up is I have a monitor set up and I can see the chat, the camera. Um, so that's what I'm doing right now. Just waiting on a few viewers to join in. I think we got a few people in already. We got about 10 people. So I guess it's safe to say we can start talking. So I am joined by Lamar, my friend here from Discord. By the way, for those who are wanting to join in on discussion, that's in everyday life. We don't have to do it on live stream. You're more than welcome to join in on Discord. We talk about wrestling all the time, even when we're watching live shows. We might pitch in and be like, "Oh, Liv Morgan just became a champion," blah blah blah, and somebody might pitch in and say, "Who cares about Liv Morgan?" Anyways, that's just an example. So I have Lamar here with me. So Lamar, you want to introduce yourself? Nothing formal, but you know.
It's you've been here a few times. It's been a while. It's the Dragon at Night. Self-proclaimed best in the world at what it do when it comes to this discussion thing, when it comes to gaming, when it comes to things in real life. I'm a competitive person, but most importantly, I say whatever I feel. So one thing that you guys will understand, PJ will have his opinions, but 9 times out of 10, I will be far left from his opinions. Not saying that that's intentional, but it's just him and I don't always see eye to eye with wrestling. So you may hear a lot of things said from him that you agree with. You may hear a lot of things that I say that you may disagree with. But just know everything I say comes from a place of love because I fucking love this sport, if we want to
Mm-hmm.
still call it that, growing up on it, and I just want to see it thrive. I want to see it be what it used to be. I want to be able to say I can watch something like pro wrestling and enjoy it and doesn't meet those expectations. I'm very much somebody who's going to be hard on them.
That's right.
I'm not going to be sugarcoat my words. So that's pretty much what I want to say on that. You're going to hear a lot of controversial opinions from me. That's just
Mm-hmm.
how it's got to be. It's
And
my
that's
opinion at
how
the end of the day.
exactly what Lamar just described. Him and I just don't come an eye to eye on most of the cases. But there's few things we can always agree on, and we don't act like immature people and argue. Kind of
Oh,
like one of my real life friends. We've had some disagreements, and I kid you not, we just quit talking for years, like number of years, all because of wrestling arguments. I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing ever. But anyways,
wow.
that's in the past. We can all be mature about
Hmm.
certain situations, and I want to talk about the elephant in the room. Let's start off hot. John Cena just turned heel at Elimination Chamber, and I kid you not, this is one of those pay-per-views that I thought, you know what, it's Elimination Chamber. Surely it's not going to be as hot as you think it would be. But when The Rock showed up, he came out and asked Cody Rhodes to give him his soul, and we thought that okay, we're on to something here. Not to mention, a huge speculation: who's gonna win? We knew three names going into Elimination Chamber. They were like the top three names: CM Punk, John Cena, and Seth Rollins. And honestly, it could have gone any way, but they chose to go with John Cena, and obviously, they had a plan in mind, a mastermind plan. Nobody saw this coming. You can say whatever you want. The internet can say whatever they want. Oh, here's a speculation: John Cena might turn heel because the dirt sheets are saying that they have chosen John Cena to become a heel, or But do you really honestly believe that John Cena would turn heel? You have never seen this man become a heel, and I'm not talking about his Thugonomics chapter of his lifetime. That time was so different. I'm talking about the John Cena that we grew up after when we watched him since 2005 or 2006 after his Thugonomics career, when he became the Make-A-Wish, you know, a person who or a lot of people looked up to, so to speak. I'm losing a train of thought over here, but I want to get back to the point of John Cena. We never saw this coming. I don't care what you say. Last night was cinema, is what a lot of people call it now these days, and we wanted it. If it wasn't for this, if it wasn't for John Cena turning the heel the way he did, I don't know if I would have been as interested in WrestleMania this year. Because going into it up until last night, I was like, oh man, I spent a lot of money to go to WrestleMania this year in Vegas. And honestly, WrestleMania is not looking good at all. So I was glad that The Rock showed up. And then I was glad that there were some things heating up leading into Elimination Chamber last night. And John Cena finally turned heel the way he did. What are your thoughts? And I'm going to be answering some of those questions in the chat as well. So keep posting comments. Let me know what you guys think. And I think we got White Mamba in the chat as well. So we can do a discussion, joint discussion here. Mr. Lamar. Hello.
Well, actually, I have someone specifically who wanted to answer that question. So hold on, let me just go get him.
All right.
Just 1 second.
That's fine. So I'm gonna talk about some of the things, and then hopefully you guys can pitch in on that idea because I was gonna wait. John Cena turning heel the way he did last night was perfect. It was perfect. The timing is perfect. What does he have to lose? He is in his final year of his career. He's going to give it his all. Why just come out and try to become a champion when you have a face going up against another face of the company? Sure, you need some sort of plot twist. What better timing to do it in his final year to give more than just, hey, I'm just showing up for 36 dates out of the year, and this will be the last final time that you will see me in your town. So this is something that he couldn't have done in the past, simply because John Cena was the babyface of the company. A lot of, the WWE itself, it strived on John Cena because they needed big stars and they had nobody bigger than John Cena. They couldn't have turned John Cena at that time because they were probably going to jeopardize losing sales, merch, and all that stuff. But the time is now, literally. And we didn't see this coming at all. Cody Rhodes being the face of the company, right now the biggest baby face of the company, and going up against somebody who is like John Cena, they took that opportunity and turned it. And the way he turned heel is mind-blowing because his acting career, and his wrestling career goes hand in hand. And the way everything worked out well on the camera, from the cue from The Rock and from them panning into John Cena's face, and when he turned that smile into the most devious, demonic look, like, I got you now, bitch. And just turned everything from just top to bottom, just inverted everything. It was just perfect. And my reaction is online, and a lot of people reacted the same way. Everybody, the whole internet blew up last night. And I'm talking about this right now, and I was like, you know what? This is going to be talked about for a long time, not just a week or a couple of months leading into Mania. This is going to be talked about 20 years. This is one of those things like, hey, you remember the time that Hogan turned heel when he showed up on WCW? When the Outsiders and the NWO thing happened? This is something similar to that. John Cena heel turn was not something that we wanted, but something we needed. Although I feel like you can turn that vice versa. But they gave us something totally out of the box. And for them to do this it required guts. I feel like this wasn't a decision on WWE's management. This was like, hey, John Cena's coming into the office and be like, hey, I'm willing to do something out of the box. And let's be brave. Let's do this. I got this. I want to do this. I'm gonna let you talk in just a second. I was gonna say something, but I think I've covered most of the points regarding like WrestleMania. I was reading some of my notes. What I was gonna say itself, WrestleMania was looking lackluster. A lot of people were complaining this year for the last couple of months, like, we got Jey Uso, and that we can get back to that later on about Jey Uso. But if you look at the matches, we had Charlotte and Tiffany, we had Jey Uso and Gunther really hasn't done much. Like I said, we can talk about that later. But we were wondering, what's going to be the main event? Is it going to be Cody and Roman again? Is it going to be Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes? Is it going to be Cena and Cody? Is it going to be somebody else and Cody? Or even Jey Uso and Cody? Like, but how do you put that storyline in together? Oh, I know what I was going to talk about. This is the last thing that I'm going to mention. Filling in plot holes. My biggest gripe going in from 2024 through 2025 was this. The Rock handing the Rolex watch to, or whatever he did the night after Mania from last year. And then showing up at Bad Blood, doing the 3, 2, 1, the slit throat thing, that he did on the camera and just walked away without any explanation. Then he shows up on Netflix Raw, shows up as somewhat like the final boss, but it was more than likely your Dwayne The Rock Johnson persona, right? And then he shows up again. Then he's like the final boss. Everybody's referring to him as the final boss. But then again, he's being a tweener right now, and we can talk about this later as well. But my biggest gripe was, you're showing these things right throughout the year, showing up at Bad Blood, etc. Is this part of the storyline? Even Solo Sikoa and the rest of the bloodline walking up at, exiting at Bad Blood, they're like, it's all part of the plan. It's all part of the plan. Is it really part of the plan? I want to know if this is really going to come full circle at WrestleMania, because The Rock at the post conference, he mentioned saying everything that Triple H he do on the camera, this is for a reason. This is long-term storytelling. So I am hoping, okay, so we got most of that, not most of it. I would say we got like 50% of that. We got to see the Rolex watch. We got to see some of the slit throat action, that he did to John Cena, just showing like, hey, take over. You're the man now, since Cody Rhodes is not willing to admit that he wants to be the corporate champion. My question is, are they really going to be able to fill in the holes, or are they just making a BS? They're just making a BS on the go, and they're just making their own storylines at the end and doing whatever they want to do. So what are your thoughts, Lamar? I hope you guys are ready. I haven't even seen who's joined the chat or not. What do you think?
As far as on this John Cena thing, I'm sure there's a bunch of controversial things I could say, but as far as actually getting a informative opinion, someone who actually knows what they're talking about, knows the ins and the outs when it comes to being looked at as a heel, and then in one night, a switch. You become a heel, you become a babyface, you become the top guy of the company, to then eventually make the decision to turn heel again. There's only one man who knows anything about that. PJ, Mamba, the fans at home. I'd like to introduce to you the Hellraiser himself, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What? Thank you. Cut the music, man. I ain't trying to get copyright. I ain't trying to get my boy copyrighted. What? You want to know what I think about John Cena turning heel? Well, I'm going to be honest. That kid's got a lot of guts. To make a decision like turning heel, not only in your last season, it's smart. So I'm going to piggyback off a few things you said, PJ. One of them is, yeah, it's his last year. There's no regrets.
LA Knight.
There's no long-term booking that's going to be needed. There's no questions that are not going to need to be answered. If John Cena is a bad guy and leaves a bad guy, we don't have to question it because this is his last year. Another thing you said, all through Cena's career, he could have turned heel, but he couldn't. Too much of a risk. Top guy, too much merchandise, the whole 9 yards. Like you said, it wouldn't have been a good idea for Vince to do at the time. I get it. The timing is perfect. I think everything, as far as John Cena becoming heel, we could have did this earlier. We could have a little bit earlier, but I get it. They needed something to get us talking. Kind of like when I turned heel against The Rock. We had a bait and switch. I became the heel, he became the face. Just like when I became a face for the first time against Bret Hart, he was the face, I was the heel. By the end of WrestleMania, I was the face, he was the heel. So moments like this need to happen in wrestling. What? Moments like this need to happen.
Whoa, where did you disappear? It's like you're 50 feet away.
I'm a controversial figure. I'm going to hand this back to Lamar because I think I said in my piece as far as the WWE wrestling side of things, I'm going to let the controversial one talk. So go ahead, man. I'm out of here. Thanks for having me, y'all. Goodbye. What? I'm going to go drink me some stabilizers. What? See you later. Okay, thanks, Steve. Anyway, so what I wanted to say on that is what you said before that I'm also paying attention to is they're not they don't know what they're doing. It's just like last year. They don't know entirely what they're going with the flow. So when you're discussing things like the countdown and the slip, all that was just
BS, right?
by chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was not the plan. Cena was not the one going into this that they had. Like you said, there was theories. There was but CM Punk or Cena might sell their soul if Cody doesn't. Like that was a speculation. If Cody doesn't, someone else. But it's like you said, no one expected this.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, that still doesn't change the fact that none of this is planned. They are going as they go. Hell, even the ending to the Elimination Chamber match.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they were trying to plant that seed that Cena was going to do something. Like everything that happened tonight was planned tonight. That night is what I mean. Everything that happened was planned that night. So the little things like, Rollins cheating and then Cena taking advantage, maybe you can say that was a little small seed that was planted within the same night, but none of this was planned. And that's the unfortunate thing about all this. This is all just random. So we could all have expectations for something great and might not get entirely what we want. It's still the idea, just like when The Rock turned heel. Maybe we didn't get exactly what we wanted from it, but we got it. That's the moment, the experience. We still have it. I'm a little skeptical with this one because, like I said, it's just the idea that this really wasn't planned, and the difference with when The Rock and Cena did it, it was needed. Not to say it doesn't make things interesting. We had a predictable storyline going into it, but it's not like with The Rock that was needed. So I feel like here it's going to be a little bit more rocky, for no pun intended, for John Cena to try to be the heel in this situation because, he hasn't really had much of a situation to get into like The Rock where it was easy for him to just be like, yeah, there's a few things I think Cena could go off of. Some of the things I mentioned between the Make-A-Wish, like, I did this all for the money and the fame. I don't give a shit about your kids. He could do that. He could say, all these years I keep coming back to put over the young talent. I'm done. Y'all know who I am. I can put anyone where I bury people. He could do these things. But is that what we're gonna get? Or are we just thugonomic Cena next week?
I am ready for one hell of a ride that they're about to give us, whether if it's bad or good. I've got a pretty good feeling that John Cena knows exactly what he's doing when it comes to becoming a heel. The facial expression itself and how he acted so quickly tells me a lot more that his skills are like you can't compare to anybody else. Doesn't even matter if he's had enough time to utilize his heel skills on TV or not. I think he's going to be phenomenal, just giving us one hell of a ride, even if it's just for that 2 months of that time frame. But I want to go back to them planting seeds, and I did the quotation things. I think that's BS. I believe I can see this where The Rock's like, oh yeah, let's go, let's do this, let's plant seeds, and next year I'm gonna come back to Mania, and I'm gonna try to wrestle. We'll see. We'll see how things go in January, getting close to WrestleMania. He probably said all that BS to Triple H, and he's like, you know what? I'm not feeling it. I don't think I should wrestle this WrestleMania. But we can take those seeds and turn that sumbitch sideways and give them something else. Give the fans something else. And I think that's exactly what happened here. So The Rock coming out on the post conference saying like, hey, we do this for a reason. We plant seeds for a reason, for long-term storytelling. I think he's just saying that stuff. And also, I think it was Not Sam Wrestling. He asked a question that every fan wanted to ask. What is up with the Rock acting the way that he acted? Him coming out, he's the TKO board member, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He acts like the final boss, talking about like, gonna slap somebody's herpes off of their lips. And then next thing you know, he's telling the fans, like, oh, I can resonate with this town. The 20,000 strong fans in New Orleans, my family, blah, blah, blah. I love you people so much. And then he's doing the sing along. Next thing you know, he's telling them, don't sing with me. Otherwise, blah, blah, blah. Doing his same quotes like he usually does. So 1 minute he is a face, 1 minute he's a heel. He's more like a tweener. So Not Sam Wrestling asked him, what is the deal with that? Like, who are you? We were so confused. So The Rock says this. He goes, in the moment, I feel like as how generation is moving so fast, The Rock is who you see on TV, who you see backstage. He's the final boss. He does whatever he feels like, whenever he feels like, and whatever he speaks onto the camera in that moment. So I honestly feel like he's been given so much the freedom of speech. He does whatever. That's why his promos, and when he comes out, he requires like 30 minutes for a fucking segment, which I don't mind, but I feel like it goes far-fetched. Kind of like the whole thing with Cody Rhodes and The Rock segment last week on SmackDown. I mean, that thing took forever. It didn't need to be a 20-something minute segment.
But that's the problem. It's going to be the same way with Cena. Cena is a lot more polished, but it's going to be that same feeling of like these promos, these interactions are going to go on forever because that's just them trying to get back into the swing of things.
You ever notice that The Rock repeats himself quite a lot now?
Yeah.
That's a hint right there that he does not practice his promo. He just like comes out and just wings it.
But that's my whole thing. Like, even with what I feel like people are a little concerned about the wrong things.
Yeah.
So when people are saying, "Oh, well, is The Rock a tweener?" No. See, if you're buying into this character the way that they're trying to get you to, the way you should look at him, being nice and then being a dickhead. He's a corporate face, so it's like a politician. It's like a politician. He'll smile in your face and tell you what you want to hear because that's gonna keep him getting votes. That's gonna keep money into the company. Right. But once he gets that vote, you start to see his real self, and that the way to look at that in this perspective is, he says his nice things to start like great crowd, hot crowd, love you guys, and then he ends it with I'll smack the herpes off your face because that's the character. That's what he's supposed to be. He's the head of WWE. So he has to play like that corporate, like politician character of like I'm your friend until you piss him off. Then he's like fuck you. That I feel like is a part of the character. I don't feel like that's like a distraction. Like is The Rock a good guy? I've never looked at it that way. I've just looked at it. Like I said, what it is. I feel like that is just him being the character. Even when he was talking to Cody, I looked at it more like a devil trying to manipulate an angel into, becoming a demon. Like it was him trying to pretend to be like Cody's friend to manipulate him. Like that's how I took it. I didn't look at it like, Well, The Rock's a bad guy, but he's being nice. So I feel like certain things that people aren't really looking at it the right way. I feel like that's one thing that people are kind of distracted with for some reason when they should be more worried about the things like you said, like The Rock's coming out repeating himself. The Rock's coming out and he's taking 30 minutes on a promo when he really only needed 10. So
Yeah.
these are the things
Um,
people should be talking about.
I want to
But
answer a couple of questions that people are posting in the chat. Then we can go back to the discussion. PJ, do you think the crowd would do the right thing and boo Cena? I think it just all depends on the time and how the crowd is feeling, depending on how Cena is cutting the promo. Now, these days, you don't have to be a face or a heel to have that type of fan interaction. I mean, look at Logan Paul. When he comes out, he gets boos all the time. Doesn't matter if he's being a face or a heel. Same thing with Dominic Mysterio. Sure, there are heels. That actually, I gave you guys a bad example. If I was to give you guys a good example, just take Cena as an example. I mean, he was a babyface of the company. He got booed quite a lot in this time frame. He might get cheers and boos at the same time. But people know, this is 2025. People read dirt sheets. A lot of fans are in just for sports entertainment. They've just been long-time wrestling fans. They know wrestling is, kayfabe. I mean, what can I say? So fans are going to react however they're going to react. Like I said, I'm in for the ride. I'm excited for the ride after seeing what Cena did last night to Cody Rhodes. There was another question on here. Do you think Cena's theme song will change? That's a question asked by a Lakers fan. By the way, the last question was asked by Pat's Time, which I think is Alien Cree, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, this question is asked by Lakers fan. Yeah, what's his name?
I think that's Jumpman, I thought.
Jumpman. Yeah, Jumpman. He asked me if Cena's theme song will change. I think Cena's theme song will not change for the first couple of rounds. Maybe at WrestleMania he will have a different theme song. What do you guys think? Maybe he'll have a theme song right before going into WrestleMania, just so we can remember it. But it needs to be catchy. It needs to be one of his old songs that he has already, from one of his albums. I think he only had one album, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong though. But yeah, I would love to hear a different theme song, just for the time frame when he is playing as a heel. My question, Lamar, simple yes or no. Do you see Cena losing, or do you see Cena winning the title from Cody Rhodes?
Oh, man,
That's
it
tough.
just no, dude. It really isn't. It just depends on what WWE wants. Okay. Um, we talked about this last year's WrestleMania,
Mm-hmm.
right? Before when The Rock came back originally. The best example I love to use in this situation is back in 2013, CM Punk and The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Punk created a name for himself within those years, became a hot talent for the company, big name. Other than John Cena, he was that guy. Selling merchandise, putting asses in the seats, keeping people watching. That was CM Punk. The Rock came back, saw that, and said, I want this. Push the idea that they need to have the rematch against John Cena at WrestleMania, and the only way that they can do that is if they do it for the title.
Mm-hmm.
Now, looking back at that, they need the title? No, because it led to nothing. It led to Daniel Bryan eventually dethroning John Cena, but then to just be taken out by Randy Orton and Triple H. So it ultimately led to nothing. So we could have had CM Punk and Undertaker for the WWE Championship. This is just what I'm saying. There's something random like that. The Rock came in, said, this is what I want to do, and the board agreed with it. So they let him win the championship because they felt like him going to Hollywood with the title, going on interviews, whatever, would be enough of a
Getting
profit. It'd be
attraction.
Yep. it'd be a good thing in the end for them, even though they'd be shooting themselves in the foot, putting down a talent that's actually going to be there every week in CM Punk. In this case, it really depends on what WWE wants. Does TKO want to continue to push these new guys like Cody to who's going to actually thrive, help their company thrive later? Or are they thinking right now and like Cody Rhodes is not really selling that much as a champion? As a superstar, he's a fan favorite, but not a lot of people have been a fan of his title reign. Will people be excited to watch a heel John Cena be champion even for like a month? Yeah. So TKO will probably bite the bullet and do that if they're thinking of right now. If they're thinking long term, like they should be, no. This is the no-brainer. Cody Rhodes will triumph. But if they're thinking of right now, then they might let Cena win just for the idea because TKO has already proven that they like to allow the old heads to be the center of attention. Hinting, the last two Royal Rumbles have been predicted for the two of the oldest niggas in the company to win. CM Punk and John Cena have been the top two names for the last two pay-per-views to win it all over young talent. So that should already tell you that they could bite the bullet and let an old head like part-timer like Cena. But it just depends on where their mindset is.
Oh man. I am reading everyone's comments, by the way. Man, I lost it. The train of thought after you dropped that word. I just thought it was funny. So Cena winning. I'm picturing this in my mind. Cena wins, keeps the title for a couple of months, defends it. Maybe he takes it to out of country, and performs a pay-per-view at a pay-per-view. Sells out a stadium event or something like that. I think it would be pretty cool, even though if it's not a stadium event, maybe like close to 25,000-30,000 seating event will be pretty awesome. Anyways, yeah, I can see that and give Cody Rhodes a little break because the dude has been a workhorse, not a workforce. For the WWE, he does a lot of interviews and stuff. My question is that the depth of this match, how deep can they make this? You have to remember there's another big missing key missing in this whole matchup. We have another big face of the company, which is Roman Reigns. He has yet to return. Can they possibly do a dual main event style matchup, kind of like last year? A lot of people are posting pictures online. Wait a minute, look at this. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns together versus John Cena and
AJ,
The Rock. Yeah.
I see the vision, but I'm just going to tell you why that can't happen.
Yeah, I understand that. And I was getting to that point. Because even though they do that, I don't see what's the point in it. Because what's in it for Reigns? They would have to give us a legitimate reason for Roman Reigns to be there. Although I feel like the storyline that's been set for Roman Reigns is actually Seth freaking Rollins. I mean, look what he did to Roman Reigns. That's the storyline for Roman Reigns. So what happens with CM Punk? I feel like that's a three-way dance waiting to happen at WrestleMania, which is CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. That feels like a matchup now with CM Punk being out of the picture. Although I feel like CM Punk needs to be the one backing up Cody Rhodes this time around. It needs to be CM Punk, Cody Rhodes versus The Rock and John Cena. That needs to be a replication of the last year's main. Huh?
I was with that. I had a better solution, but then I realized they've already kind of paired him up with someone. I feel like, as cool as CM Punk is, he's already booked. If Randy Orton did not return last night, how he did, that would have been cinema. While people keep using this fucking word cinema for everything when it isn't, that would have been peak cinema. Randy Orton, John Cena. CM Punk and John Cena have a great rivalry, don't get me wrong, but true OGs, it's Randy and Cena. Edge is not there anymore. That would have been a cool moment, but it's Orton and Cena. Those are the two. That
Randy and
would make
Cena
more
carried
sense.
the company through the harshest times of the
Yep.
WWE. You hear me? After during the PG era, but I seriously think that that is the going scenario. Even so, get this straight: CM Punk would help out Cody Rhodes, but CM Punk is also going to wrestle a matchup again on a different night against somebody else. So he doesn't have to be bound to just one matchup. He can be fighting against somebody
See,
else. Now, I want to take this into a deep realm here. How is the match finish going to be? This needs to be cinema. Let's talk about cinema for a second. You want to talk about Stone Cold Steve Austin? I want to bring out some legends, you hear me? I want to bring out somebody from the past who has been a thorn in the Rock's past, which is Stone Cold
What?
Steve Austin. I'm telling you,
What?
that will be cinema. We failed, not we failed. WWE failed to deliver that last year, but it all
last
worked
year,
out.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah,
Yep.
but it
Mhm.
all worked out. Don't worry about that. I am glad that he did not show up last year. This year, jump on that fucking bandwagon right now. Have Stone Cold booked and be ready for the weekend of April 19th and the 20th. Be there to cut this fucking angle during the main event of WrestleMania. The crowd's gonna fucking pop like crazy. We don't need Undertaker. We don't need other guys. Just have Stone Cold show up. Have Bloodline show up in the mix of that, helping out The Rock. I think it's gonna be fucking amazing. You hear me?
Mm.
I think we can possibly look at one of the, not the greatest WrestleManias of all time, but one of the most unique WrestleManias of all time. Once again, kind of like last year, it's turning out to be. The Rock shows up, and a lot of plot twists happen for a good reason. I'm just glad that he's able to accept that and not be so hard-headed and be able to pivot, kind of like they did last year. I'll let you talk for a second. I'm thirsty.
As I said, the issue with that is, how are we going to do that? And the reason why I ask you this is people are not thinking about this, and depending on how they go about this proves if this guy winning or this guy being in this spot, if he should or shouldn't be in the spot. How are they going to do that when Jey Uso has been promised his main event? Anyone who has won the Royal Rumble gets night 2. So how are we going to do that? How are we going to have Cody versus Cena be the biggest one of the biggest WrestleMania moments or matches if it gets pushed to night 1? And if it doesn't get pushed to night 1 and it gets pushed to night 2, then they'd only be proving what people are saying, that Jey Uso was not ready to win the World Cup because they're already pushing it big main event.
They can do this. So
Bear in mind, there's a women's Royal Rumble winner too, so they're also entitled to one of those main events.
have Jey Uso and Gunther go out on night 2 of WrestleMania, open the whole show.
Oh no, okay.
They've done it before.
Right.
Edge and Alberto Del
No.
Rio. Think about it for a
Yeah,
second.
and think about those matches. These are different. Edge and Alberto Del Rio. Edge was the baby face. He won. He was the old head. He beat the shitty heel. Daniel Bryan and Sheamus. Sheamus beat the shitty heel that no one likes. Gunther versus Jey Uso, where you're trying to push Jey Uso as the next face, and Gunther, who is literally supposed to be one of those pillars right now, you're gonna subject them to the opening match of night 2 instead of the main event that they were promised. No. So then you are already proving right now that Jey Uso shouldn't have won the Royal Rumble. They should have saved that for John Cena or CM Punk, because we're gonna push him to the side even though he already won the Royal Rumble to guarantee the main event spot. You can't
So
do
you're
that.
you're saying that's going to be foreshadowed and nobody's going to think about it since it happens on the night 2 opening? I'm not arguing with you. I'm just wanting
I'm saying
to see that.
if you want this John Cena moment to happen, and let's say it's night 1, Jey Uso's moment is going to be stepped on night 2. It's still going to be a moment if he wins, but it's not. It's going to be overshadowed by the John Cena thing. If they have them fight night 1, then you know that he's not ready for that spot because he is guaranteed a main event, the main event spot. It's not like with Cody, he got they did the tag team match night one, but it's not like Cody Rhodes got night one main event and then fucking Seth
Since
Rollins and Drew McIntyre got the main event. He won the Royal Rumble. He was promised the true main event, not night one's main event, the main event.
but let me
Jey
ask.
Uso and Gunther get that spot.
Well, let me say this. You know, they've mentioned that in the past, but that doesn't mean that you get to be in the main event. I see your point. I see your point. His shirt says main event. He is the main event, Jey Uso, and they've said it. The main event of WrestleMania. That's the match that he's getting. I get it. Let's say he gets the main event matches, which is night one. Even though if they put The Rock and Cody Rhodes, or in a tag team matchup for a stipulation for it to be determined on night two, when would that match be able to take place? That means that it would be sometime on night one, early on, maybe the opening of the show. But do you think The Rock will be opening up the show at WrestleMania and actually wrestling? I guess The Rock technically is not the main focus. It's just the storyline focus itself.
But you want to hear another point that contradicts that? I see what you mean. They could have him open the show and it wouldn't affect him. But here's why they have to give this to Jey Uso.
They got
Because
to
we
sell
had the
both.
same thing last year.
Just
No,
keep
I
in
know,
mind,
but I'm
they
saying-
also have to sell tickets for both shows.
No, I get it.
Night
Trust
one
me,
and
I
night
get
two.
it. I'm just saying why you would have to have Cody main event night two with Cena. I get it. But I'm saying why they ultimately be shooting themselves in the foot is because we had the same situation last year. Cody won the Royal Rumble. Did he? And yes or no questions.
What?
Did Cody Rhodes main event WrestleMania night two when he won the Royal Rumble last year? Yes or no?
Yes.
An Elimination Chamber when Drew McIntyre won and beat everyone in the chamber to qualify for the world title match. Did he main event night one or night two?
We're talking about when he beat Brock Lesnar?
No,
Code
when he
maybe?
won in the Elimination Drew McIntyre last year when he qualified to face
Oh,
Rollins
yeah.
for the world title. Did he main event night one or night two?
No, sir.
No, he did not. Why is that? Because he's the Elimination Chamber qualify winner, which means he is automatically thrown to opener at night one. They opened the show at night one. The
But
world
it
title
was a
opened
world
the show.
title, son. It was a
It
world
doesn't
title.
matter.
It does matter.
No, because it's in the
This is where we
stipulation.
disagree, big
No,
dog.
no, I get it, but here's the difference. Royal Rumble winner gets a guaranteed main event spot. The Elimination Chamber gets a guaranteed championship match. There's are two different winning stipulations. That is
So
why
what are
if
you
you
trying
put
to
Jey
say?
Jey Uso has the main event. If he doesn't main event night two, then WWE is burying this guy. I'm saying.
Oh,
Sorry.
man. Oh, man. This is a bit big, huge. No, I see your point. I'm looking
I
at
see yours as well. I'm just
looking
saying
at
if
it as a business standpoint.
I know, but they got to double down.
They can't have both of these matches on night two, right? That's out of the question.
No shit.
I know you're not saying that. I just want to be on the same page.
No, I
all
know. We're clarifying.
So
I get it. I'm just
you're
saying.
not saying that Cody Rhodes is gonna wrestle on night one, is he? And give Jey Uso on
don't.
night two?
I don't know. The point is what I'm saying. I see what you're saying.
I think
And money, you cannot have Jey Uso and Gunther be the last show of WrestleMania this year for everything.
No, it's
For money, I
it's
get it. But as far as
Jey
everything
Uso
they've been
and-
hyping up,
Jey Uso and Gunther going last or going first is unnecessary. That should not be a question. He's just getting a main event style match, a title shot to perform
that's
at
not- but
WrestleMania
that's-
for,
that is
for
why-
a high profile match.
but that's how you see it. They've been booking it the other way around, PJ. They've been
I don't-
booking it. He's getting the main event. He's main event Jey Uso. He's going to have his main event moment.
Let me ask you
they're
this: what
hyping
has
it
Gunther
up.
done for the world title match? I mean, has he? He hasn't done much. I'm not
Yes, he
saying
has.
that.
Have you been watching the product?
I am watching the product. He ain't done jack shit in the last few months. I can
He's
agree
been.
with that with the internet community on that one.
I'm saying
He's done a
as
lot for
far
the
as this feud.
Intercontinental Championship.
No.
Oh, okay. As far as the
Yes.
feud goes, yes, he has done some stuff.
But whose fault is it for him having a shitty title run?
Just to
It's
let
the
you know,
guy that y'all keep dick riding.
just to let you
Triple
know,
H.
we're beefing right now on an argument when this tag team style match for the determination of what kind of match Cody and Cena will
But
be
that doesn't
wrestling
have to happen
is
this
not
year. We
even
already saw it.
I know, I'm saying that match, it doesn't even exist, and we're arguing over that fact. We're just
No,
speculating
but that's
right
what I
now.
mean. We're not even. That doesn't even have to be in the question.
You're saying
They
that
don't
he
have
needs
to
to
have
go
the
night
tag
2.
team match.
You're saying Jey Uso's gonna
Regardless,
go.
just listen.
Hello, my friend.
I
Listen.
see it how you are saying it. I am telling you what I'm saying right now. If
All
you
right,
listen,
chat
I'm saying
right now, post comments. Do you want Jey Uso to be on night 2 main event, or do you see it happening on night 1 instead? I want to
bro,
see everyone's
this
comments
is an
right now.
obvious this
The
is an
good
obvious
7 people
answer.
watching this.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm saying that if how they booked everything for the past few months since
You
him
you
even
see
before he
that?
won the Rumble.
No, Lamar, you
What?
see that? You're saying that you see that that's how they're booking Jey Uso? That he is the main event of
Oh,
WrestleMania.
he's
I don't see
on
that.
paper but that's why you listen. He is Jey Uso bigger than Cody Rhodes? Fuck no. Is Jey
Oh,
Uso bigger than John Cena? Fuck no. Should he be main eventing over them in and between their match? Fuck no. But the way they've been booking him, he won the Royal Rumble. He is guaranteed the main event's world title match. They want you to think that he's a main eventer. They have booked him to get the main event spot. So if he doesn't get it, it kind of makes his character look a little weak, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. I am telling you right now, on paper, Cena and Cody should be main eventing night 2. But
just
with everything that
remember,
has happened in these past few months, if he does not get that spot, then it's going to look a little bad on them. I'm just saying.
world title is still the secondary title
Doesn't
to
matter.
undisputed.
It do-
Yes, it
if you
does.
want
It
people, but if
matters
you
a
want
lot.
people to PJ, if
Lamar,
you want people to see that title as eventually as something that's like
hello, my
meaningful,
friend.
you have to have those. You can cut me
Hello.
off. If you
No.
want people to take the title seriously, you gotta have that moment eventually.
Eddie's agreeing with you. He's like, then why is his name Main Event Jey Uso, my friend?
I'm
Okay,
not even
okay,
saying it for that
okay.
reason. I'm just saying in general how you booked him the last few months. If he doesn't get that spot that he was literally promised, it's gonna look a little bad. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying
I
that
understand
that's happening.
why, because
I'm
it's
just
over Cena and Cody. Like that's a
hello, my
match that
friend.
deserves that
I'm just
spot.
saying
But
that will happen night 1 WrestleMania, not night 2.
oh, but it won't be as impactful, my friend. That
Impactful my
no.
ass. The thing is that they haven't done enough stuff to be impactful. Jey Uso winning at WrestleMania will be impactful. Doesn't matter if it's night 1 or night 2. When it happens at night 1, that's when Jay's reign
So then
as a
Jay.
champion is going to begin. He is going to sell those stadiums,
So then why
arenas,
didn't
you
John
name
Cena
it,
win the?
from there on out.
Why didn't John Cena win the Royal Rumble and why didn't Jey Uso win the Elimination
You
Chamber?
have to understand there's higher caliber superstars or higher profile matches happening on night 2, including the Cody
Okay,
Rhodes and John Cena.
but why didn't you listen?
That you can.
Why didn't Jey Uso win the Elimination Chamber then, and why didn't they just let John Cena win the Royal Rumble and slowly book him to become heel? If he could then get the guaranteed main event at the Royal Rumble, why didn't John Cena win the Royal Rumble then? If it would have been, just like I said,
This
man,
is not the
I
first time this
agree.
has happened,
I
where a
agree.
Rumble
I'm
winner.
just saying that it just would look really, really, really bad if they do all this shit that
Look,
they've been trying to get you to feel. You get behind the guy, and they're like, "Oh, well, he's not going to get the real main event, even though the Royal Rumble guarantees it." I
look.
know what you're going to say. You're going to say when the women have won it, they haven't got the guaranteed spot. True, true.
Well, my friend, I don't know what to say. I guess we'll find out in 48 days at WrestleMania. I guess we can talk about this topic afterwards. Um, and we can, talk about it more, of course, in between that time frame. I wish we had another person to pitch in with their opinion. We got chat going off, and they're saying, Alex Gemini says night one. So him and I are on the same point. He
You're
also said night
not
two would be
listening.
Super
I'm
Bowl.
not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing with you guys. I'm just saying with how they presented him, you've kind of backed him into a corner where he has to fucking get that spot. That's why I'm saying
I
if
don't
you
know,
wanted
man.
Cena to be the guaranteed main event, then they should have just let him win the Royal Rumble and let Jey Uso win a qualifying elimination chamber match. That
Jey Uso's situation is different. For him to win the Rumble was like define the odds. Elimination Chamber is the second chance to face the winner
yeah.
at the main event, right? That's how this works. You also have to understand, Lamar, the biggest exclamation mark. Jey Uso did not choose Cody Rhodes. Jey Uso chose the secondary champion, which is Gunther. That's
But that
the
doesn't mean
exclamation mark right
shit.
there. Yes, it does.
That doesn't.
You're saying that a lower profile superstar as Gunther, you're gonna have them do a matchup at the night two, the main
No,
main
but
main event.
PJ,
They're sending
you're
the
being a
crowd.
bencho.
They're
I'm not
sending
saying
the
that.
crowd home happy. WrestleMania's done. People spent a lot of money. This was the biggest night of the year. You're sending them home with Jey Uso and Gunther when they're
You're not listening. I
what
am
is
not
it?
saying that is what they have to do or I want them to do that. No. I'm just saying that every time we've had a male Royal Rumble winner, they main events. Every year they have done this. Doesn't fucking matter who you pick. If I pick Bobby Lashley when he was the ECW champion, we're fucking main eventing because I won the Royal Rumble. That is just how it always works. Even last year, we did
Not
the same fucking
always.
shit. The Elimination Chamber match is the secondary match, no matter who they're fighting. If it's for the
No, it
WWE or the
doesn't
World
have
Champ,
to be. That's not in the rule book. Kind of like the rematch clause. That
what?
was never a rule. No, it's not. It's not a rule. It's just how the idea is presented and what looks bigger on the paper. I mean, sending home happy is Jay winning. I don't see it being a happy ending with Cena versus Cody Person. It doesn't have to be a happy ending. Let's just say a surprising, a shocking, a cinematic ending, so to speak. Not just a happy ending. A happy ending would be Jey Uso winning the title and the confetti falling. I think that would be night one scenario, the main event. I think technically that is what he should own. Night one, WrestleMania, Jey Uso in Vegas. That is what Jey Uso is to me right now. That's how I feel. That's the idea that WWE is presenting me. And if y'all disagree with that, that's cool with me. But that is what I have consumed from my knowledge. That is the idea that WWE has presented. I see Chris in here. Wait, Lamar, why did you get all quiet? You okay, my friend? You need some butter chicken?
Just letting you talk, my
Oh,
friend. I don't know
oh,
what's wrong.
okay, okay. Hey, Chris, do you want to pitch in? I see you're on Discord chat. Maybe not. His mic's muted. I think he's just here. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, says Alex Gemini.
Can you hear
They'll
me?
pick. Yes, yes, we hear you, my friend.
All right. So last night was pretty. Overall, the show was good. Besides, I think the tag match was okay, I would say. But uh, I would say the Jay versus Gunther, I believe, should be night one. But with the booking, with everything, it's likely, I feel like, would be more. I can see them doing maybe like last year, opening the show, if I'm being honest,
Mm-hmm.
for night two. Because
likely I feel like they're gonna probably do Rhea and Bianca night one main event, depending
Thugnomics
on how
Imagine.
it's booked. Because I think I'm wrong. Did Rhea and Bianca ever feuded in the main roster at all?
I'm sorry.
Mm,
Did Rhea
I don't
and
think
Bianca
I'm not
ever
sure
feuded?
about that one. You might have to look into that one. I'm not sure. Definitely not for a
I feel
Mania,
like
but
because I feel like for a match like that really builds up
Th-
for
Thank you,
that type of
Carlos,
build up.
for donating $3. Thugonomics, imagine that was his comment. It didn't pop up on the screen, so I apologize. Really appreciate it. Anyways, so I don't think Jey Uso will be opening up Mania Night 2. I feel like it's still Night 1 main event. So I think one of the women's match will be opening of Night 2, and it could be possibly even Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, for that matter. But yeah, it's definitely
Yeah.
turning out to be a really good, shaping up to be a great WrestleMania for sure. A lot of unpredictable stuff has happened in the last couple of months, and everybody's been tuning in to find out what would happen. Although a lot of people are like, this year is kind of lackluster. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. And honestly, we still don't know one of the biggest matches that could possibly happen, which is Roman Reigns. You know, Roman Reigns shows up, and he's the one of the biggest stars of the company, and for the first time ever, I don't think he will be in the main event. And when I say main event, not the main event. More than likely, he will be participating in a secondary style main event, not for the title. But yeah, I think
that's what I
we
mean,
covered.
man.
Yeah.
That's
Go
why I
ahead, go ahead.
keep pushing Jay for the main event because there's so many matches that are gonna, especially if you put on night one, there's so many matches that are gonna just take the spotlight from it, and that Roman, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins rumored match is definitely gonna be one of those matches that I feel like is gonna steal the show.
Mm.
Look. In the next 48 days, if they book Jey Uso the way that they have booked in the last week, showing how much adversity that he's having to go through, showing like how much people didn't believe in him, if they keep booking him the way they're booking him, that I can see that happen. Night 2 of WrestleMania, sending the crowd home happy by Jey Uso winning. I just don't think the crowd is still that much behind Jey Uso as far as like main eventing the Night 2. Sure, it would be cool to see everybody yeeting. Everybody loves that. The whole crowd in Vegas. I can't even imagine how everything's going to look. I can see it happening if Gunther becomes the most ultimate heel. Although in between this time, I would love to see Gunther going at it and do the most heinous, vicious things to Jey Uso, even beating up his brother. Beat him up to bloody pulp. Show him like what he's done to his family and just cause chaos. Do that. Bring out the most baddest, evil, villainous heel out of Gunther, and I will be gladly be able to watch him and accept the fact that he deserves to be in a night 2 of main event WrestleMania in Vegas instead of seeing Cody and John Cena. So there's that. There's that idea. Jay versus Gunther is going to be crazy. You think so? I think. I mean, their match hasn't had that much intensity. But like I said, they have 48 days. They will build it right. I know they
man.
will.
Wait. Oh, sorry. You think Hunter and Jay would be main match will be similar to when Roman fought Brock for at WrestleMania 31? The setup.
What?
Roman and Brock setup.
So you think for Mania, the match, if the match does play how I want it, do you think it's gonna be similar to Roman and Brock when they first fought? I think 31. Whole setup of just
How
Gunther
s-
destroying Jay.
You mean I'm so confused.
Yeah, I don't remember that match as much. Roman and Brock, when Roman
What
wasn't
about? Are you
the big.
comparing that
And
match
the
to Gunther and Jay or
yeah,
Cena and
because I
Cody?
feel like Gunther and Jay.
What you're saying is you think they're gonna set up for them to fight multiple times at WrestleMania?
No, like that match, the whole setup of WrestleMania 31 was Roman. Well, Jay is getting brutalized by Gunther throughout that whole match uh until he actually starts to get more momentum. Because that could be a good build up for night one main event if they go with that route.
I don't really. I'm not following here.
Yeah, I'm a bit
It,
confused as well.
yeah.
Sorry, my friend. My Indian brain is not
No,
working.
no, it's not that. So when you talk about Roman and Brock buildup, the Roman and Brock buildup that I'm thinking about is the one in Dallas, which was only what, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, before WrestleMania 38.
No, it's the first time, the first Mania they fought.
Yeah, you're talking about the big dog Roman Reigns. I don't remember the buildup. It's because that era
No, I'm
was
talking
not.
about the match, not the build up, the match itself, Mania match.
What was the finish? Remind me. You talking about Seth Rollins cashing in Money in the Bank? You're talking
What
about
he
No, just
the.
means, I
before,
think,
just the whole
is
match.
how he's saying how Brock had like 80% of the match offensively, and then Roman had like what 20% at the end. Like he's saying that the match could
Yeah,
go like or
that's how I
Oh,
Gunther
feel
now
like it might go.
I see your point.
Gunther dominates.
Gunther
Then
dominating the whole match. Yep, I see your point. Where instead of Jey Uso being hot and running around, blowing up the stamina, I don't know, man. I just don't know. All I know is that Jey Uso better learn a couple of extra moves, because
right,
he needs
he's
to
bland.
have a few extra things on his moveset. And he can do it. I know he can. I'm not like, you know, taking. I'm not saying anything against him right now. I'm not saying that he's a bad wrestler. It's just his
He's also not a
style of
great one.
wrestling. Um, if they need to do this right, they need to choreograph this. I hate to use that word. They need to build this matchup right and have it to where Gunther's going to gain a lot of heat, and there's going to be some spots. Call those spots. I think it's going to be a good turnout either ways, because a lot of people will be tuned in to watching this match. It's definitely not going to be the Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso repeat from last year. I seriously think that this will be a better match than the last year, because a lot of people will be like, hey, Jey Uso's going to win, and then people are going to be eating. But either way, it's exciting times. Exciting. Did we miss anything? We talked about a lot of things. Triple H. Oh, I'm sure you heard that this was a question asked to Triple H, saying like, hey, is this the going format? Going forward, would you be doing 2 nights for every single premium live event? He simply laughed off and said, huh. He was like, I don't know about that. He said that this is really exhausting, just even putting up one night. He said that for us to do 2 nights for every single event, it's going to be like a huge feat. Um, I seriously think that their goal is seriously to do 2 nights for every single event. I've already heard some rumors that the Big Four, which is Survivor Series, Royal
They're gonna
Rumble,
do 2 nights
yeah, they're going to be 2 nights.
for
But I'm.
each
Mhm.
show, SmackDown and Raw.
But given the fact that women and men's matchup always take place, they can possibly do 2 nights, because it's a no-brainer. They get more money, more revenue by packing out events for 2 nights. More people get to stay an extra day or two within the city or the town, wherever they're in, and they get to spend more money, more merch sales, etc., bring a lot more
I'm gonna
revenue.
be
So I
completely
don't
honest.
know. Yeah.
If they do that, I will definitely stop watching because
Well, let's just
you
say it
already are
doesn't need to be
trying.
forced. I don't want everything to be forced on us.
Yeah,
Peter, do you forever see CM Punk ever getting his main event? Yeah, I think so. But I'll also say this. The man gets hurt a lot. Did you see the first suplex that he gave or he got. It was right in the beginning of Elimination Chamber. The man was already holding on to his back like he got hurt. I'm like, what the hell did you do, Punk? Why are you getting hurt so easily? It's scary.
I mean,
It's
could
scary.
have been selling.
It could have been selling. I honestly don't think that was selling. Go back and watch that. That didn't look like selling it to me. That was to me like, fuck, that hurt. Like, Jesus. But man, it's scary watching Punk. I seriously think that he's a part-timer from here on out. What am I saying? 90% of the roster is part-timer right now. Rhea Ripley wrestles every 3 to 4 weeks. This was another topic I was going to bring up. Triple H he's created so many changes. Some good, some bad. I don't know if you guys have noticed or not, everybody wrestles every 3 to 4 weeks now. And I mean every 3 to 4 weeks now. They don't have a whole lot of house shows. I don't even know if they've had any house shows in the last few weeks. I know they're headed to European tour. They're going to be working hard there for consecutive days. They're going to be wrestling. I get all that. But a lot of wrestlers are not wrestling like they used to. This is a bad thing and a good thing. Some wrestlers don't need to be wrestling all the time. However, keep your wrestling calluses up. And I'm sure that they're training. I'm sure they're running the ropes all the time back at home, training with their buddies and stuff, and with professionals. But I feel like we can use more action. The shows are getting shorter. The shows are not as what you think. So, previously, if you attended a Monday Night Raw or SmackDown TV show, house show, whatever, TV show, there will be a dark main event. Their dark main event has been changing.
Oh yeah, they're
so
not
much.
doing those.
They're not doing them. If the show ends at 10:30, it ends at 10:30. There's nothing. There might be Seth Rollins like giving a speech for like 10 minutes and that's it. Send the crowd home happy. That's it. Like, you don't get nothing anymore. They're not working harder anymore like they used to. I guess they're working smarter. You can say that. But, yeah, there's few changes.
I wouldn't even say that.
Like. Yeah, there's few
I'd
changes.
say that they're
like. Go ahead.
they're trying their hardest to accommodate, because that's another thing about our generation of wrestlers. They're a bunch of prima donnas. So they try to do everything that they can to keep them happy, when it used to be the other way around. It's like, I got to do everything to keep my boss happy. And now it's, what can you do to keep me happy? It's like,
You got to think about it for a second. Your mid-carders, low-carders need the house shows. They need the house shows. They need to build up their repertoire, or whatever you want to call it, to show off whatever they can on those small shows.
changing of the guard, man.
Yeah, man. I just don't know if
TKO
that's a good
has
thing or not.
UFC.
Yeah.
TKO has UFC, and the way they look at it is, well, we don't have house shows. We have opening cards. An opening card would be considered a house show, so like a pre-show. They could do that. I'm sure they might do something like that. They make pre-shows, and that'll be like house shows for the pay-per-views or whatever. But they just, it's like you said, it comes down to money, and having 2 night pay-per-views is going to make them money, and cutting back on house shows is going to save them money. So
Alex Gemini said, sorry, I've been trying to read his comments. Jey Uso does Poison Rana and Canadian Destroyer. Well, he don't need to do both, but learning a couple extra moves or something extraordinary, something out of the bucket, will be surprising at WrestleMania, rather than just a splash. Yeah, you know. Punk soft as fuck, LMAO, says P3400 Soldier. Let's see if there's any other comments. Y'all think Cena will turn face again? Oh, 100%. I think he will turn face. Also, I will say this. Cena in upcoming few promos, I think he's also going to say a line, or he's going to drop a line saying, like, I'm not fucking going anywhere. He said, I think he's going to say, like, I'm here to stay, and I'm here to take everything, whatever I can get, or whatever I have to gain. I think he's going to say a bunch of crazy things that's gonna make people go like, that's wild. But yeah, this is his farewell year. I'm very concerned about how his gear is gonna look, how the merch is gonna look. Um, you think it's gonna be hustle, loyalty, disrespect now? Like, what is it gonna be?
It's just gonna be like for me, I honestly think he's just gonna play off the fact that he's the greatest of all time, and he's just gonna talk shit. Like how CM Punk, Chris Jericho used to say he's the best in the world, the best in the world at what I do. I think he's
You
gonna
know,
play off. I'm the GOAT. I'm the greatest of all time, and it's gonna be shit like that. It won't be like fucking people think there's gonna be him flipping off on a t-shirt or something stupid. It's just gonna be simple shit. It's just gonna be less of the "Hey kids, welcome to my TV show." It's gonna be less of that and more of, like if Cena comes out and does a fucking rap, I'm sure that'll be a quote on a t-shirt, like stupid shit like that. It'll be something like along those
Darth
lines.
Vader outfit. Darth
The
Vader
Rock.
outfit. Is he getting rid of the jorts? That's another question.
Yeah,
Or is he?
I honestly think he's gonna.
Hey, he's gonna
Hey,
wear.
hey, hey.
He's gonna wear Air Force Ones, but they're gonna be black with white socks.
Okay. No, I think he goes back to his roots. I think he goes not to the prototype, but I think he starts wearing the shitty wrestling tighty whities. I just see it
Gotta
him and
hope
the
not.
Rock. Him and the Rock, like kind of like Stone Cold and Triple H, like
Break a wish.
the fucking
You know, a lot of people are posting memes like "Break a Wish." It wouldn't surprise me if they actually run with it and take those memes and turn it into the merch, because that's where the money is. I really think that they might actually do that. Cena in a singlet, I can't see that happening, bro. Nah, not in a singlet. Damn, you guys got quiet. And I'm surprised White Mamba didn't have anything to say.
he left.
Is he playing NBA?
I don't know. I just know he left.
That's all he does. He plays NBA all day long. Oh, I gotta go to McDonald's. Okay, any more comments? Did we cover everything? Really don't want to talk about women. We can talk about like women some other day. There's nothing else that I can possibly see that.
IWC,
What about
the thing
IWC?
from earlier.
Oh yeah.
The thing from earlier.
We talked about how it's kind of like, okay, an example, a kid wanting a certain candy for the longest time, but you give them something and they're like, no, I don't want it anymore. It just leaves a bitter taste in everybody's mouth. Well, I don't know if I gave that example the right way or not, but what I'm trying to say is that the crowd or the fans, internet, wanted Jey Uso for the longest time. You give them what they wanted, and they're like, you know what? I don't want it anymore. Like, I'm good. I'm good. You can just have Jey Uso. Have him back. We don't want him as a Rumble winner. We don't want him to main event WrestleMania. Why not? What, he sells merch all day long. He has been selling more merch than your other superstars, like Roman Reigns, which is the hottest blockbuster superstar right now in this industry. And yet you can't even. Come on, bro. I don't even know.
No, but there's a great
He deserves it.
It's a good spot for him, but you got to understand why people don't like the Damian Priest is when you make them champion. Why they don't like?
Oh, did you see the meme with Damian Priest? It was
No.
it was like,
Where
hey,
The Rock was gonna take his spot.
No, it was like, you see all the 5 men who are so relevant in this storyline. Then you have Damian Priest. It's like you have hyenas, and then you have like this albino hyena, like the oddball one, like the goofy looking one. Like, that didn't make any sense being there.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to like.
Yeah.
These guys have fans, but the problem is when you decide to give them to the people when you want, it's not gonna work.
True.
So
what would have been cool
yes.
was that they should have had Jacob Fatu in this chamber match. Fucking it factor.
Maybe.
Man. Yeah. And then
But
it's easy for Jacob Fatu to be eliminated. Have him do something reckless that would cause him to lose or be eliminated. That would have been the easiest choice. But then again, I see it. Damian Priest has done a lot of hard work in the last year or so. So just don't know what is Damian Priest going to do. I think he falls
Guys
back
like
into it.
that have fans. It's just here's the difference, right? Damian Priest. When people have been behind him saying they like him,
Mm-hmm.
saying he could be a great talent, could be champion one day, people believe that. And I
Yep.
think ultimately they still do. But
Mm-hmm.
what happens when they decided to give Damian Priest the championship?
Yeah.
Seth Rollins was the current champion.
Mm-hmm.
People love him. I'm not a big fan. He's okay. Drew McIntyre was competing for it, and he just won the championship. People felt like he deserved it over everyone that year because he had a great fucking year. And then you have CM Punk kind of lurking in for the championship. There's these guys that, in that point in time, did, felt the fans were more wanting to see them in a championship opportunity. That doesn't mean that Damian Priest needs to be getting jobbed out next week. He can still be
Yeah.
winning and momentum, but at that point in time, there was guys in that situation in that spot that was more over and should have been champion. He got it, and they kind of set him up for failure. Nobody wanted him as champion at that time because of all the people in the question. Same thing with Jey Uso. They set him up because you're going into a year where you're building up Punk to finally get his main event. You're building up a year where Cena is in his last year. You're setting him up for failure because people want to see him succeed, but they don't want to see him more successful than John Cena right now or a CM Punk because that's what the people want at this point in time. The one exception to this rule is Daniel Bryan Danielson. When he was in WWE, the entire time he was being held down. The entire time. Every year they gave us somebody, we said no. We wanted Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was the guy. And the
Mm-hmm.
difference here is that Daniel Bryan was always ready. Every year we said we wanted Daniel Bryan, he should have been the guy. There was no one else better than him. There was no guy
Yeah.
that should have had that. No one ever
It
thought
was
that for a
it was a
second.
little too late for DB.
But even with him, when they finally gave him his opportunity, we were behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's like you said, it just was too late. But the difference is
Yeah.
we were still behind him
Yep.
because every year that we said he deserved it. There genuinely was no one else at that time who deserved it or had
Um.
a story for why they should win. Now we're in a time where these guys are talented, but there's just they put them in situations where they set him up for failure. Damian Priest with, like I said,
Um.
the whole situation with Seth, Drew, and Punk, and then same thing with Jay. You set him up when you have a year where Punk, Cena, Roman, all these guys are in the Rumble. Of course, people are going to be pissed when they see him win, but ultimately, when he wins, they're going to be happy. It's just when you're one you get behind a superstar for so long and then they just decide, oh, we'll do it now when the storyline says that it should be one of these guys. People are
Um.
gonna be pissed.
Alex Gemini said, I'm waiting for Seth to turn full blown heel, and I would not mind that, not one bit, because I feel like he's a tweener. I don't think he's either a heel or a face to me. He's just a tweener to me, to be honest. He does whatever he feels like in certain situations. Pika Jelly God is going to be happy when Jay wins the belt from Gunther. That's what Eddie says. Um, yeah. Peter, what are your thoughts on what they're doing with Drew McIntyre? What are you adding about? Hang on one second. Peter, what are your thoughts about what they're doing with Drew McIntyre? I really thought that Drew McIntyre was a plot twist, and he was going to back up The Rock somehow. And I still feel like to a certain extent, he's somehow going to help out The Rock. Somehow. I think that's going to be another key elevating Drew McIntyre. It needs to happen. It needs to happen somehow. Only if they do that, the tag team match. If they can do it in that way, he can interfere and help out The Rock. Okay, what were you gonna say, Lamar? You were adding about something?
I was just friggin'.
Were you yelling
I don't even.
mustard? Oh.
No, I forgot who you were talking about. I was doing. Oh yeah.
Seth Rollins.
I
Oh,
love wearing my wife's clothes.
fuck, man. I don't even know. He showed up like an oven mitt this week, man. Ridiculous, man. Oven. I wish he would get rid of it. I just don't get it. I'm sorry. I just don't get it. I get it, the fact that that's his persona. That's what he does. Every week he comes
What
out
do you mean
wearing
that's his
something stuff.
persona? That's not a gimmick. Just because you come out playing dress up doesn't mean you. Seth Rollins has not changed in the last 6 years. That is why, like, every time you hear me, I'm literally CM Punk whenever I hear Seth
You
Rollins' theme song when he
you
comes
remember
out.
the you remember that theme song? Oh, during the COVID year time frame.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was lame. I was not behind that.
I'm just saying, Rollins has been the same guy. Every time they try to lie to you and put a title next to his name, Seth freaking out Rollins, the Visionary, the Monday Night Messiah. He's been the same fucking guy for the last 8 years. So when
So
I hear people
some
say, "Oh, he's persona, he's gimmick," he's just fucking Seth Rollins. He's just a
and
cross dresser.
cross dresser. That's harsh. And Don Six says, "What do you think about what they're going to do with Cena, Rhodes, and The Rock?" Well, you can probably go back an hour.
Rewind.
You can
It is
rewind
exactly
and
what we
listen.
thought was gonna happen.
Yeah, we were talking about this for the longest time, but he brought up Jade Cargill. Can we talk about Jade, the biggest
Yeah,
baddest bitch?
all these
So
Negras.
so you seen the contrast. She came out wore black, and obviously Bianca and Naomi was wearing white, and it was pretty obvious that she was gonna go after Naomi, right? My question is, what happens now? Is Naomi the real culprit, or do you think that there's a plot twist? Do you think maybe something else? Maybe okay. Do you
No,
see? Okay. Hear me out. Do you actually see that maybe Naomi is actually still face? And
no,
okay. Do you see maybe if Bianca's the one who caused all this
no,
mayhem? Hello, my
no.
friend. I'm just trying to get some ideas. What do you
No,
think?
because this is what it is, my friend. I tell you what it is, my friend.
Okay,
It is
tell me.
so obvious. It is going to be what you said. I think maybe Bianca will eventually be a plot twist, but very long time till we see that. Naomi is going to be the on-screen culprit. It makes sense. She is a jealous ratchet asshole. She was jealous that there was another ratchet asshole who was tag champion, and so she injured her, and so her and Bianca can become the new ratchet asshole tag champ. So I think it makes sense it'd be Naomi. She was jealous of the other ratchet asshole. She wanted to be the other ratchet asshole standing next to Bianca Belair, the other ratchet asshole. So I think it just makes perfect sense.
So
Yes? Or
that would have caused Bianca to attack Jade. Bianca would be the real culprit, right? And Jade over here is thinking that it's Naomi the one who attacked.
no, no.
No.
I'm saying I think Naomi is the one who attacked her, but I think they'll try to say that Bianca was the one who manipulated her to do so. But I think Naomi, yeah, it makes sense that she'd be the one to attack her because she look at where she's at now after she got injured, like tag
Mm,
champs.
yeah. Well,
Where
all you
was
have to do
Jade
is
before
talk
she got
English, my
hurt? They
friend.
were tag champs. So yeah, no, it's just
Randy
I
Orton is
think it.
back. Yes, he is. I saw it. I mean, he's just facing Kevin Owens. We all know that. But what kind of match? That's the question, my friend. Kevin Owens and Randy Orton in a Hell in a Cell? Nah. Not feeling it? No?
It's going to be a shitty steel cage match. I call it.
Yeah, because KO would have to be the one doing all the hard work. And Randy's going to have to get beat up most entirely, majority of the time. What does that leave for Sami Zayn? I don't know. Sami needs to be in
Injured.
Sami Zayn and Logan Paul. Doubt it.
No.
No, that's not gonna
Sami
happen.
Zayn is going to Sami Zayn is going to get traded to SmackDown. He's going to win the United States Championship. No, I don't. I really don't.
Hmm.
Sami Zayn needs to take a break, man. They could say he's injured right now and just let him take a break for a bit. Make us forget about him for a bit, and then when he comes back, people will be excited for him. He just
I
needs a
don't know,
break.
man. Sammy might be off for a while. I still think that Sammy will come back before WrestleMania. I mean, it's a WrestleMania season. I see a tables match between KO and Randy. What y'all think? Tables match for WrestleMania between KO and Orton? I see more in
I
that.
was thinking that, but I feel like WWE goes the route where I was thinking Hell in a Cell too, but I feel like the steel cage is the safer route to the
Yeah.
Hell in a Cell. They can
Well,
say, "Oh, you're locked in a cage," but then they can have the, Kevin Owens escapes the cell
not to
angle,
mention
whatever.
Kevin Owens has had 2 back-to-back like rough matches, right?
Mm.
Or they do
Yeah,
exhibition style match, just like random,
no,
just simple.
maybe I don't know. I don't know because
Or
realistically, Kevin Owens shouldn't even be walking around on TV right now, based off of like what you just said. He just had back-to-back
no,
grueling matches.
they simply do the loser quits WWE match, and they write something off for a while, and the other person, which is Kevin Owens, I guess he loses. He leaves WWE and somehow gets reinstated back months later down the road. I think that's a good possible scenario that easily that can be done somehow. They've done it before, like many times. They can do it again. What about the
Mm.
Wyatt Six?
What about the Wyatt Six? Who
I mean, there's
cares?
nothing, but like I would love to see Wyatt Six come back and have some
Do
sort of
what?
do a random 5v5 match.
They're gonna fight the New Shield. There you go. There you go.
They're gonna fight the new day, the new day.
No, the New Shield.
New Shield. Oh, the New Shield from
There
NXT.
you go.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go. There's a
All right.
WrestleMania 3 match.
I think I'm done talking. We've talked about it enough for an hour and a half. We're just going off and just throwing all these
But we're not.
random
We need to continue
ideas.
talking about the ratchet ass hoes, bro. What are they go? Are
No.
Bianca going to? Is Bianca going to win the world title so the ratchet ass hoes can
Oh
feud
shit.
into next year's WrestleMania?
Chris just leaked the whole night one script. Jade versus Naomi, Drew versus Damian, Charlotte versus Tiffany, Punk versus Rollins versus Reigns, Jay versus Gunther. All right, the night 2, Randy versus Owen, Rhea versus Belair, SmackDown men's ladder match, Braun Breaker versus Styles, Cena versus Cody. He just leaked the
On
whole
break.
script.
Oh wow, man, that's totally like not like good guesses or anything. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, no, he probably got it on Wiki.
Mm-hmm.
That totally legit site.
So, yeah, and was it Alex the other day? He was like, "Oh, look, Mania 42 card is already leaked," and I'm like, "Dude, do you really believe this?"
Say like I can go make a wiki right now.
Yeah, it's okay. We can all just be fans of thinking about this type of stuff. Uh, bro, leaked the whole match card. Oh man, Braun Breaker should defend in a multi-man. I agree. Have a 6-man.
Yeah, so that he can lose the match clean
Yo.
and go for the. No,
Yo.
listen, he can lose the match clean. Like he doesn't have to be the one who gets pinned, and he can finally go for the main card, like the true like world title or
Yo.
something.
Yo. Listen. Ladder match, tag team, or TLC, and have the Hardys join in. Dude, that would be cool. It can
man.
be done though. They just signed a deal, right? Have Hardy show up in it for the tag team title match. They don't have to win. They can participate. It draws so much attention. It's the Hardy boys.
You going? No, man, you can't do that.
Boys.
You gonna make Jeff Hardy. You gonna make Jeff Hardy start doing pills again and fucking. Drink.
Oh, that's messed up. He said,
"Bro, he's gonna get hurt. He's gonna get hurt."
I just did the Hardy Boy dance, and everybody's probably looking at me, be like all crazy right now. Oh man. Alright, I love wrestling, but I've had enough with you guys. I don't want to talk or hear about wrestling for the next 4 or 5 hours. I want to break.
Yes, I stole his soul. I am the Rock.
Yes. Hardys won't be on the main roster for a long time. I mean, who wrote that rule? Alright guys. Well, thank you guys for watching. I don't see any more questions. All I hear is like some BS random speculations being posted. And what I don't know what this Michael McLendon has been posting. He's just posting the most random things on the chat that I'm just ignoring. So
What?
Yeah.
One bear?
Guys.
Two bear? 4 beer.
All right. Thank you guys for
8
watching.
beers.
I would love to do this one more time again. Let me know in the comment section below if you actually enjoyed this. Hopefully you guys love this discussion. Me and Lamar might be back in just a couple of weeks or so if we have a chance, especially if something else transpires. All right. See you guys in the next one. Happy WrestleMania season. Bye-bye.
John Cena is a heel.